So, a topic has come up that I've decided to discuss because it's that season and time again, and it's graduations. And actually, graduations happen all year long. So, this information is relevant at any time, but I know at this particular time we have quite a number coming up. So, I wanted to address graduation ceremonies. And, I talk about a lot of events in specific events, but a lot of the same strategies apply no matter what event you go to. But you do want to tease out what's particularly difficult about the event that you go to. And I have had to take special needs kids to graduation ceremonies, and they present a lot of challenges. Some graduation ceremonies are outdoors, some of them are indoors. So that can have a huge impact on weather and temperature. I've been at graduations where I've been freezing, and I've been at graduations where I've been boiling. So that's something to be very mindful of if it's outside, which many commencement ceremonies are. If it's indoors, it gives you that advantage. The other thing to think about is those events are extremely crowded. Generally speaking, our high schools here in Texas are huge, and they have very, very large graduating classes. So you will be at that event for umpteen hours, and it will be very crowded at the beginning and at the end as people depart. So generally speaking, I have sat in commencement ceremonies that I've sat there 2.5 to 3 hours waiting for a particular name to be, and the person to go up and receive their diploma. So a couple of things that I always think about, just a couple of tips would be, if your child really struggles with the intensity of those types of environments, I would plan on arriving at a time where you don't have to stay the whole time. So usually they're alphabetical, so you all can figure that out. I hope you all have people with the last name A. But for those of you that are Z, because A will be first, but for those of you that are Z, maybe you arrive in the latter part. With our cell phones now, the family members can divide and conquer, and they can save spots, and they can tell you, hey, we're on C, we're on M, we're on, so that you can arrive 15 to 30 minutes before. Parking may be an issue. Hey, if you have to, take an Uber. Whatever you need to do to make that work for you. But I think you'll find less frustration, and it would be horrible to have to sit there for multiple hours. Your kiddo have a meltdown, and then you have to leave and miss that moment. So think in terms of that. Seating's critical too. I would always save a section or have your family member save a seat that's on the end so you can exit and get to where you need to go, that you're not stuck in the middle and you're not real far from an area that you can exit or walk around. Sometimes that helps a lot too in those events, is taking a break and walking around and then coming back to the seat. My other trick is always to bring novel toys and novel activities, because your kiddo can sit there on an iPad with headphones. They can use a coloring book or some sort of book. They can also play with other fidgets and toys. I wouldn't have real noisy ones because that might draw attention to yourself. But you can also usually find out the schedule of the commencement, so you know what activities are going on. So that's another thing you can look at doing. But those are a couple of few ideas. And if you think you're intimidated because you think it's going to be a difficult event, there's always FaceTime, and you can watch it on an iPad or on a screen. So we have so much technology to assist us today that you really don't have to see it live, or it can be recorded. So that gives you a couple of options. Again, take that kiddo to the place, if you can, where the commencement's going to take place, and talk about it. Talk about where you're going to sit, bring water, bring snacks, all those things, so you're prepared for whatever may come along, and make sure you know where the restroom is. That's another big deal, so that you can find that. But those are exciting events to see people move into their future, so I hope you enjoy them if you're attending. And if you have specific questions about your kiddo, talk to your therapist. They can give you some really good insights.